Have you ever heard of Drumheller? If you haven't, you have now. And you might be wondering why we're here. Well, you might not be wondering that much. As you can see, dinosaurs, this area is very known for it. From Dinosaur Trail to Dinosaur Museum, Fossil Museum, dinosaur themed restaurants and hotels, Drumheller has it all. Today we're going to visit the museum and later on we'll also visit one of the excavation sites. If you're into dinosaurs, then make sure to stay tuned because this video is for you. And we're gonna show you some real cool stuff. But we're gonna start our day with the Horseshoe Canyon. My name is Bastiaan Bakker and this is the world at your feet. Welcome to Horseshoe Canyon. So before we're gonna start, parking is $2. There's also no overnight parking here. However, there is a camping ground on the other side of the street where you can park overnight in case you want to see the sunsets and the sunrises. There's a hiking trail over here we're going to check out. The hiking trail is free, so that's a plus. And as you can see over there, it looks really neat. So let's go. Horseshoe Canyon provides a unique opportunity for visitors to view an important snapshot of the geological timescale that has been preserved for millions of years. The layers you can see here represent important passages of time in Alberta's history. This UNESCO World Heritage Site protects some of the most significant dinosaur fossil fuels on Earth. It looks like molded plastic. It's very soft. I've never seen this before, quite interesting. So we noticed several of these big rocks laying around here, and you may wonder, what is it? Well, these are called clinkers. A clinker is a type of rock found among the abundant coal beds that sparkled the coal boom in the Drumheller Valley from the early to mid 1900s. Coal is so combustible that it can start to burn from natural processes such as lightning strikes or exposure to heat such as direct sunlight. As the coal burns, impurities such as iron, silica and aluminium can fuse together, creating a hardened slag with a distinctive abstract colors and appearance. So that's a mouthful, but looks pretty neat. The Red Deer River Valley Badlands might remind you of the Grand Canyon, millions of years old. But this canyon formed a relatively short time ago. During the last glacial period from 22,000 to 12,000 years ago, Alberta was buried beneath glaciers up to 1 kilometer thick. These glaciers acted as dams as the ice melted, forming large lakes. When the glaciers collapsed, torrents of water surged across the province. One of these bodies of water, the Red Deer River, cut through the glacier rubble, carving out the deep canyons of the Red River Valley you see here today. So what I find really interesting, it's really dried out. If you grab a little bit and you crunch it, it feels really wet, like clay. And over here, it kind of sounds like it's hollow, which is not, because it's really hurting my knuckles. And then right next to it, or more underneath it, you see these rocks, and you can see they flinter, they break very easily. And then underneath this sand, there you go. So much diversity, where nothing is what it seems. Come to think of it, there are some trails here and we're not on one of them. We kind of came down this way. We're taking the non-touristic route down for you. So the Horseshoe Canyon definitely is worth to visit and spend 1 or 2 hours hiking around above, on the bottom, and do some exploring and maybe find some fossils. As for the question, did we find any fossils? Well, We did see an elder couple exiting the RV. I don't think that counts. As for this, that's just for show. Our next stop is the Royal Tyrrell Museum, just 20 minutes away from the Horseshoe Canyon. So, without further ado, let's go inside. Come to the Royal Tyrrell Museum and experience the prehistoric past at Canada's Dinosaur Museum. Explore one of the world's largest collections of dinosaur skeletons, most of which were discovered in the Canadian Badlands. Touch real fossils, dig into a quarry, take a guided hike and tour the galleries. Open all year round. Dinosaur here, dinosaur there. There are dinosaurs everywhere. Dinosaurs and fossils, there were plenty of both. When I was a kid, I was a big dinosaur fan, and this, the Triceratops, was my favorite. Just look at all those pieces and how much work went into putting them all together into this magnificent display. Can you guess what this is? If you guess turtle, you're right. Hit the like button. And here is our own evolution. All jokes aside, this place is awesome, even if you're not a dinosaur fan. And the best was yet to come. And here's another cool thing, you can actually touch the jaw of a Hadrosaurus and the tooth of a Tyrannosaurus Rex. And that's really cool. Just look how impressive size comparison. Wow, if I haven't said it already, this place really is amazing. You can even take a peek in one of the laboratories. Alberta is one of the best places in the world for paleontology, thanks in part to the extraordinary volume, astounding diversity and exceptional preservation of the fossils found here. In a minute I'm going to show you a fossil of a dinosaur in a dinosaur, as we can see the stomach contents of the Gorgosaurus that I'm going to show you right now. So come with me, I'll show you. So this is the Gorgosaurus, and right inside you can see his last meal. Now that is something really unique and really cool. My inner child is very happy and very grateful with this place, so highly recommend it. $21 well spent. What a cool place. Truly a childhood dream come true. Something of a bucket list long forgotten. So, if you want to see the largest dinosaur fossil collection in the world, make sure to come down to the Royal Tyrrell Museum in Drumheller. Opening hours are from 9 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock in the evening. Last customer to get in, 7:30, and this is 7 days a week. So enjoy. This morning when we arrived at the Horseshoe Canyon, when I looked on the internet, I was informed that the parking was free. Furthermore, I was informed that we could stay there overnight for free as well. So that's not possible, that's no longer allowed. So right now we have the parking lot of the museum, or actually behind the museum. So I don't know if this is allowed. We're parked kind of like behind the bushes. So we'll see if we are getting kicked out, or are we gonna stay here until the morning and head towards our next destination, which is the Dinosaur Provincial Park. If not, we're gonna have to find a place to sleep whenever we are getting told to leave. One thing I'm gonna do right now is fly my drone. I also don't know if that is allowed, so stay tuned. Welcome to day 17. So yes, we were able to fly the drone, and yes, we were able to stay at the parking lot overnight. As you can see, we're still here. Right now we're gonna go to our next and final point of interest, which is the Dinosaur Provincial Park. It's a 2-hour drive, and before we're gonna hit one little pit stop in the little old town of Wayne that has the largest amount of bridges in the smallest amount of space in the world. Let's check it out. Welcome to Wade, or what's left of it. What you see is what you get. Right over there you got the famous Last Chance Saloon, and right over there you got a hotel, and right over there is a small shop and a camping ground. On the way here you saw some bridges. How many bridges did you count? Hit the like button if your answer is 9. Now there are 11 bridges, but 2 of them are on the side of the road, but there's 9 bridges that we passed in the last 5 kilometers to get into Wade. And although that sounds really interesting, but what really puts Wade on the map is the Last Chance Saloon. So let's go inside and see what makes this place so special. Hello, good morning, how are you doing? As you can see, there used to be a train here, because Wade used to be very known for the coal mines. And as you see, there's also a hotel here. Now of course in the upper rooms back in the day used to be a lot of prostitutes, like in the good Western saloon times. And that of course also causes a lot of fights sometimes in the saloon, and therefore you can still see the bullet holes in the walls. And as you can see, it really is like a museum. But other than just looking around and enjoying all the sightseeing and the knickknacks, you can also enjoy lunch here or a drink, so make sure you stick around and do that. One final fun fact, Wade used to have 2,200 inhabitants. Right now, 2025, there's only 25 diehards still resident to Wade. Who would have thought? And with that information acquired, we're ready for a final destination, the Dinosaur Provincial Park. So we've arrived. That was a 3-hour drive, and to be honest, the sightseeing was pretty much the same all the way. One thing I realized, since we agreed to stay on the speed limit of 60 miles an hour, which is 100 kilometers, everybody passes by. 99% of the time we have no people in front of us, no people behind us, and the entire road to ourselves. Then we use the cruise control, stay hydrated, and we can just cruise away and enjoy the scenery. That's quite neat actually. Welcome to Dinosaur Provincial Park, one of over a dozen World Heritage Sites in Canada and home to the largest concentration of late Cretaceous dinosaur fossils in the world. Dinosaur Provincial Park is one of the most significant locations that are dedicated to preserving and protecting Alberta's natural heritage for all time. There are several hiking trails that you can do. There are short and easy ones, there are tougher ones. The gray trail is done by car, and then there are several stops along the way where you can see fossil displays. Inside there's also a exhibition for $2 with some dinosaur bones, but of course we already saw that in the Dinosaur Museum. So it reads here to be careful not to disturb the landscape, but also the plants and animals like cactus, slippery slopes, snakes and scorpions. Well, I'm a scorpion myself, and with snakes and slippery slopes I'm all too familiar. Let's go. The network of miniature channels etched into the soft rocks are called rills. They develop during rainstorms when water pounds against the rock and streams down the slopes. Taking the path of the least resistance, water cuts the rills ever more deeply into the hill. Clay minerals in the rock expand and contract with each wetting and drying, often leaving deep cracks. As water pours into the cracks, it seeps into the hill, forming vertical paths down the rocks called pipes and horizontal tunnels. As the pipes and tunnels enlarge, the adjacent rocks fall inward, creating sinkholes on the surface. So needless to say, when you go for a hike, well, especially here in the Alberta highlands, the weather can change very quick and it can be extremely hot. As you can see, there's not much shade. So it's always important to bring enough water. Also bring a cap or a hat because it's hot. However, when it has rained, it's slippery and wet and is not advised to do the hikes. And because it can be slippery and dangerous, so also make sure to stay on the tracks. This is really beautiful to see the Badlands from different perspectives and seeing it from above, seeing it from below. Really cool. Right now we're at the first stop for fossils. There are 2 fossil stops along this drive path. So let's check those out and continue the drive. So it's really cool. You got several hiking places here, but you can also do this drive. A couple of places where you can watch real life fossils. And of course there's a camping ground, you can stay the night. So you can really make this a day or a weekend out, and it's well worth your time. So let's continue exploring. And trust me when I say that the footage doesn't do justice to seeing it in real life. Up to our final pit stop. So we're now inside what used to be John Ware's cabin. This is actually a viewer tip that told me to go and visit this cabin. Now what's really interesting is that this house is full of stories and history, and John Ware is nothing short of a real legend. John Ware was one of the first pioneers here, and he had a house built close to the river, and then a flood washed away his entire house. Same flood, a lot of driftwood that had broken free. It was coming down the river from a sawing mill. So he dragged the wood out of the river and rebuilt a new cabin, which is where we're standing right now. Now it's just more merely a museum, but it's still nice to see. As you can see, there's plenty of activities here in the Canadian Badlands. This, however, is as far east as we'll go for Canada. We're gonna head back to Calgary and see if we can finally sort out our internet situation, and then we're gonna move towards Banff. Welcome to Banff! This place has been on our bucket list for a long time. Before we're gonna head all the way up to our starting point in Provincial Bay, Alaska. And just to let you know, we've really got some super exciting stuff, so make sure to stay tuned because it's gonna be absolutely epic. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for all the effort. But that's a story for next week. What is another story for next week is cleaning a car. Just look at the amount of bugs we have accumulated so far. And don't worry, it is gonna get a lot worse. Welcome to my local mobile office. So yesterday we bought this phone, Samsung Galaxy 24S Ultra. It has a very good camera. So this is gonna replace that camera over there. It's going to be easier to handle. Second reason is because I can finally install internet provider we're going to use along this entire trip. New phone, new camera, travel hotspot, because with this I can also provide internet for the laptop. Happy days. It's been a long search, but we got there. Week 3, we're online. Oh, you already wrote? Okay. So laundry day. Another thing that needs to be on the road. Now, if you can see here, this is 3 weeks worth of stuff, so basically we're not doing it all that bad. For us, it's the first time. I've never used a laundromat, so new experience. Let's go and see and check it out. Right, here we go. You can see that I normally don't do this, but up, anyway. And well, that will be spinning for a bit. Why don't you check out our memberships? There's a lot of perks involved, like access to our memberships libraries with over 400 travel videos from all around the world. That will keep you busy for a while, and then we will see you in our next adventure.